to Rec Hall in Happy Valley and got a rare win against Penn State. Team started a little slow, but played really well once we got warmed up, and it was fun to win out there and then have a nice flight back home. We've won 3 4-setters in a row over 3 pretty good teams, so I'm really happy with the way our squad's playing, and we hope that will continue. We've got a big match on Thursday with Minnesota, who has not played great this year. I think they're one of the most talented teams in the country, and so it's just a matter of time before I think that they start putting it all together. And I think we have 2 matches with them remaining this season, so we know we'll have our hands full on Thursday. So with that, ready for questions.
Coach Cohen over the weekend, had one of the best stat lines I've seen her have. How do you think she's coming along, midway through her freshman season?
Who are you talking about?
Chloe.
Chloe, yeah. Chloe played really well, and she's playing at a remarkable level for a freshman, and such a great competitor, and shows up every night. And going to Penn State, I thought would be interesting because that was a school that she had originally committed to play at Penn State, and then flipped that to Purdue. So I figured that she'd either play really well or maybe not so good. And she was good from start to finish, and really during some stretches kept our head above water. But I think she's amazing. What she's doing as a freshman at 5'9.5" or 5'10", she's never leaves the floor. So she's serving tough. She's passing in our every one of our patterns for the most part. She's sitting out of the front row, out of the back row, digging balls, just give it everything she's got. So she's been an absolute difference maker for us.
Has anything been changing as you guys approach the end of the season, and does the play style typically flip towards the end of the year towards the tournament?
Well, you hope you get better as it goes. I think with this team, as young as we are, we feel like we can continue to train and develop. I think that this is a group that will continue to get better. When we got back last night and I talked to them at the airport, I told them 3 things, and one of them was this team will continue to get better. We're going to continue to improve because we're so young that we're still learning. And take Taylor Anderson, for example. She's running the show for the first time she's ever been in Rec Hall at Penn State. And so those are all new experiences. I think each match she's just going to get more calm and more comfortable, setting for this team. But I think in general we've got so many young players that I think their room for growth is larger than a team that like the team we just played that has a lot of grad students and a lot of upperclassmen. I think we'll continue to get better. So we're not going to take the foot off the gas pedal. We're going to keep pushing as much as we can without wearing some people down. Yeah, thank you.
Dave, going back to Raven's freshman year, I think she was one of those young players trying to find some playing time, and you got her on the floor and felt like, just with her athletic ability, she had to be out there, and now she's grown into an elite blocker. How much of that is athleticism, talent, skill, coaching, or maybe just instinct?
I don't think any of it's coaching, but I do think that a lot of it is just her desire to be great. And, she has a strong family heritage in competing. And the one thing that she's done this year is become a vocal leader on our team. And when we met about a week ago or so to talk about where this team was going, she told the team that she was going to lead this team to greatness. And she hasn't done anything but that. And again, her hitting percentages right now aren't as high as I expect them to be as we go deeper into the season because of that connection with a brand new setter. But both the setter and the middle hitters in particular are making tremendous progress right now. And we went from a team that was just relying on 2 players offensively to a team now that's balancing out the scale. And I think that's going to make us even tougher as we go. But Raven has the complete package. The only thing she's not is 6'3". You know, she's 6 foot, but plays much bigger than she is. But she plays so hard and competes so hard and jumps out of the gym. And she's just one of those great competitors that make teams really special.
She was pretty raw when she got here, right? Like still
Well, I mean,
inexperienced volleyball-wise a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. And the reason that she did play about halfway through the season, we made that change in the lineup, was because she made people around her better. You know, there are people out there that just come on the floor, and everybody's effort and commitment will rise. And she's one of those players. She brings the best out of a lot of people. And really, we have 3 or 4 of those people on our team right now, which is a rare commodity.
Just from a blocking standpoint overall as a team, how deflating is it when you're, not able to get the shots to go down because you're getting stuffed at the net, and how much of a momentum swing can that be for your team when you get a big block?
No, there's no question blocking is a real momentum changer. And, I watched that match on Saturday night between Wisconsin and Nebraska, and I was shocked that after Wisconsin just blocked Nebraska off the floor in set number 2, that didn't carry over further. That's a credit to Nebraska that they made some adjustments, because most teams will just crawl in a hole after that happens. They just won't find a way out of the closet after they get blocked that many times. So I just think it's the most emotional play in the sport is when you go up and stuff somebody and it goes straight to the floor and the team just celebrates and they come together. And so that's really, really important. And right now I just think she's blocking at a level higher than anybody else in our league right now, and we're in a good league. So she's playing, and mostly just because she's outworking everybody. She's certainly very, very quick laterally, but she comes out of nowhere. I mean, she's one of those players where you think you've got the shot, and then all of a sudden she just gets up so fast and gets her hands over the net so quickly that you get blocked a lot because you think you've got that shot, and then it's not there. Yeah.
Looking at the the upcoming schedule, you have Minnesota twice, Penn State again, number 1 Wisconsin. How do you ensure there's no kind of mid-season slump and no one's getting tired and you got some of your biggest games still ahead of you?
Well, the first one I can't assure anything. I'm just coaching the team. We can prevent having a slump. I mean, prevent getting tired by not overdoing it in practice, and that's a fine line. As I mentioned, we want to get better, and we got players that have talent, and we need to get better because our goals are high. But I think that you just have to stay positive and honest with your team, and if they're not playing well, you have to let them know and make some adjustments. We have a lot of depth on this team. We haven't seen a lot of it because when you're playing pretty well, you don't want to make a lot of changes. But I just think the fact that if somebody is not playing well, we can make a change. Emily Brown came in at Penn State and made a huge difference in that match. She just, every ball she touched, she put the target right in the setter's hands. And that's her job. She's a passer and a defender. And without her stepping in and playing that way, we probably don't win that match. So I think the fact that we trust a lot of players on this team, and even though a lot of them haven't gotten a lot of playing time, because in our league you just can't play people for the sake of playing them. There has to be a reason. And we've got a lot of people playing pretty well right now, so you don't make a lot of changes. But when we need to, I feel very comfortable playing some other people. I think that will help us as well down the stretch.
Going back to the game at Indiana, how were you kind of able to make adjustments, having to face them again just a few days later, and then able to pick up the win here at home against them?
Well, I think when you get beat by a team a week before, you're in a better position than if you win. Because if you win, you feel like, well, what we did was successful, and we're going to do more of that and continue to do that. If you get beat, the playbook's wide open. You can make some adjustments. And offensively, we did a few things. I think even the first play of the match, we started in a rotation where we put Eva in the middle of the floor, which she's never passed out of the middle of the floor. She did, and then she ran a 2-ball right up the gut, and they weren't even looking for it. And she just was like one on nobody. When they had their really good jump server, who may be the best server in the Big Ten, their setter, Hayworth, instead of passing with 3 people, we moved another player into that passing pattern. So we passed with 4. So instead of everybody having 10 feet to cover, now all of a sudden you can do the math, I think it's 7.5 feet that they had to cover. And I thought we handled her better. She didn't go on any big runs like she did when we played down at Bloomington. So I just think that you're in a position, if you get beat, to make some changes or some adjustments. Plus, we just played better. We had a lot more motivation, I think, to play well. Yeah. Okay.
Made a lot of adjustments as a team after the first set against Penn State, just as a team being able to respond after a hitting percentage that was less than ideal. And then after as well, the loss against IU and coming back to beat them. Can you talk about the fight of this team and being able to make those adjustments as you go along in the season?
Yeah, I think the first set, neither team played particularly well. And a lot of that is we had four people that have never played at Rec Hall before. It's kind of a intimidating place to go play. I mean, they've won more matches than anybody in the country in the last 20 years. Penn State has. So it's a tough place to play, and I think we were a little nervous. And once we just got comfortable in that particular match, and I think the key is staying calm. When you know you've got great competitors on your team, you don't have to try to motivate them all the time. They do that on their own. And so that makes my job a lot more convenient, knowing that the people are there that are going to make it happen. If we can beat people, we're probably going to beat them if we stay in the match long enough. So I think that just trying to stay calm and not rattle too many cages during timeouts or in between games. And, we didn't make a ton of really adjustments during that match. We may have moved the block around. We talked about who was hurting us from their team. They got a great outside hitter, Merzek, that really wore us out, and we tried to make some adjustments on her, but it didn't really affect much. With Indiana, again, if you've got the team we have, they knew the value of that match, especially after losing to them for the first time in a long time. It didn't take a motivational speech to get them ready. I used one just to make myself feel better, but they were going to be ready to play because that's the team that we have. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.